Hi everyone, this is Ken Chan, RadiansPlus Technologies COO, Interim CFO. Today we're happy to present our company RadiansPlus Technologies to you. We focus on providing grid-friendly EV charging as well as integration with other green infrastructures and frankly driving innovations in sustainability mobility area. So here we go. First, pleased to share with you our team and collaboration partners. The company is co-founded by two gentlemen, Mr. Eric Wong, who is a seasoned entrepreneur and co-founder and former chairman of GRST, a green battery solution that's currently public, and Mr. Jeffrey Chen, another co-founder. He was the head engineer at Hong Kong Electric and has very in-depth of knowledge in the utilities system and the principal pattern designer of our technology itself. And then another one I would like to highlight is Professor C.C. Chen, our principal advisor. He's known to be the father of Asian electric vehicles, and so we are really fortunate and blessed to have him join us because he also sees our vision as pretty much a necessity for a green revolution in the EV space to continue to expand. And obviously, we have our team for the rest of the slots here. I won't belabor the qualifications of our team members here, but let's just say that the caliber is world class. There are three things we want to talk about today. Just set the stage for you. One is the EV ecosystem realities, what's going on, why it's not growing, and what are some of the things that we saw is they under utilized. Two is our technologies, a slightly deep dive on what we are offering, how we can actually make that work, and what are the implications of that. And then three, we want to share with you some real world applications that's currently in the market to let you know that this is not just a dream, but it's already happening and it's happening much faster than we would be expecting as well. So on the realities, first of all, I don't have to belabor the point that there is a growing EV market going up to 1.5 trillion by 2030 as consumers are increasingly choosing EVs over combustion engine vehicles. But there's a persistent and growing gap in the charging endpoints area, especially in high density cities. As you can see, we are already deploying in 4 countries, Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore, and Australia. And each of those have their own uniqueness, but the commonalities on all 4 of them is that the current system cannot handle. It's not drawing upon the untapped power potential and requires otherwise a significant capex investments and time consumed to facilitate EV charging. And that's a really good summary of this page here, the inconvenience truths in charging. As we talk about, there are shortage of 3 things: available parking space in general, the grid to edge power capacity that's currently designed for a world that's not electrifying vehicle, and also there's no green infrastructure connectivities to the behind the meter energy system as well as solar power production. And each of these are constrained also by the limited capex investment sources as investors are getting more critical around the profitability of these long-term projects. There's a real inertia in the regulatory systems because there's a veto by thousand cuts phenomena happening in a lot of this decision-making process. And finally, there's a lack of centralized planning. And this is what we saw as the opportunity. If you have followed the chart here, the top here refers to the maximum allocation of power to each of the potential sites. And then as you can imagine, the consumption power usually have a curve to it that ties to how hot each of the day is. AC consumption tends to be much higher around noontime, but it scales down as people go back home. So in other words, the traditional approach is just measuring the difference between the two as the amount of allocatable power, but we think that our design and what we're trying to do is to take advantage of this untapped energy dynamically and designing from the ground up to monetize that. And so we are solving the unsolvable and turning them into win-win. 85% lower infrastructure costs, much shorter deployment timeline because we don't have to ask for grid approval expansion, as you can see here. And that allow us and the users, our communities, to monetize existing grid infrastructure without expensive upgrades. It allows investors to have a much more certain return on investment and lower their return risk. And finally, it is the only solution that can really help governments around the world to meet net zero target, because our investment does not require any level 2 or 3 of carbon emissions that typically get involved as you have to expand the grid. And so to summarize our technologies, the differentiation is allowing a grid-friendly dynamic charging capabilities that allow us to have untapped charging power being harvested. That also means that we can expand into the beyond the standard layout, providing more DC charger or increasing the amount of AC flow through in terms of kilowatts, all of which means that not only you can save money, you can also lower the installation capex required because you don't have to pull in expensive cables, etc. And finally, we know that for any of the successful push towards this direction requires an ecosystem that is strong and vibrant. And we are building just that right now with a diverse and seamless partnership program. These are more technical in nature, and we could reserve it for further conversations, but put simply, the three most unique thing that's patented within our technology is that it's closed looped, so we don't have to rely on cloud for dynamic node calculation. It's non-deterministic, as I said before. It's not a fixed limit that we distribute to each of the endpoints. And then we have assertive tripping and upstream fail-safe double safety capabilities, all of which lead us to, for each of the locations, we can receive real-time data that's growing in amounts and allowing us to use AI to further improve our technologies. There's a solar integration and BESS readiness that's going to be part 2 and 3 of our growth area. For charging power operated CPOs, it means that because our solutions is integrated with OCPP, is a plug-and-play solution for you. It allows you to increase the profitability each of the sites by providing more AC and DC terminals than is being previously assumed, and it has a much shorter certification process. And for vehicle users, that translates to shorter charging time at a lower cost. As I said, we have a clear roadmap to continue to our growth from EV charging to optimizing the PV, and then ultimately BESS integration is being considered. And this is a massive market, all of which from hardware sale, the license fee and services for applicable UVC markets is in the billions, and we only need a small slice of it to be profitable. And here are some of the applicable parking real estates that you can think about for vertical communities, residential and commercial buildings, shopping malls, airports, ship terminals, anywhere with a transportation infrastructure, public infrastructure and affordable housing, as well as charging depots. And this one is specifically for the CPOs and investors in the audience. For each of your existing projects, we can do two things. One is uplifting your existing charging slots, and two is actually creating additional slots for you. So in other words, in your existing project or any new development, you can consider us as the secret sauce to unlock a lot more potential revenue through revenue synergies. Here are two projects that you can observe in real life. The largest public housing RFP we are part of with our partners RadiansPlus, and the largest shopping mall in Singapore, Vivo City, is also our using our designs, and we are currently talking to a lot of interesting parties to further expand our footprint. From a financial standpoint, this is a real life calculations that we want to share with you. Within Hong Kong, there is a certain streets with over 100 units of parking spots. In our estimation, they could have 220% more charging usage due to additional build out of DC and ACs. They generate 20% more revenue, and with a payback period only at 3.5 years, as opposed to the 5 to 6+ years in typical deployments. And to end, for everyone, it results in a profitable and high margin business for us. Commodity hardware, proprietary code, our rev share model allow us to take advantage of the growing demand at each of the charging spots, and we typically is a small percentage of the total installation capex, so it allow us to not being noticed as a cost item, but allow us to actually earn the high margin and recurring flow post site completion. So please join us with the idea to build a greener future with RadiansPlus, and we hope to see you soon for the next conversation. Thank you.